For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile. And the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time. There's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Good afternoon, everybody. Brenna here.
And I'm Gabby.
And this is the Mystery of Everything podcast. Patreon exclusive. Did the mic pick it up?
It picked it up.
All right, Mysterians and Misses. Yeah? No?
I like Mysterians. Or Mysterios.
We'll get there eventually.
Like
Anyways.
Cheerios.
Mysterios. Can't do that. Okay, so today's episode, you all have already seen it because you clicked it, Bog Folklore. If you aren't into mystical folklore, you might want to skip on to the next episode, perhaps. Don't skip it. I'm saying that to be sweet, but don't skip it. Nonetheless, this is a fun one, and it is a two-parter because we're in a bit of a time crunch. And as much as I would love to fit in all of these mystical beings into one episode, I have to go scrub paint off floors, and
You got like 3 hours of sleep. You worked all day.
I got 3 hours of sleep, and I'm not going to share my personal life with you all, but the girl is going through it. I am the girl. I am going through it.
Crushing it. Crushing it.
I'm doing great. I don't cry at work.
I
do.
Lies.
And I don't even have the cry corner anymore.
I know. Okay, it used to be the little cry closet, the supply closet. Oh, I used to cry in there
now.
In 2020, during the pandemic, when we would be working like all those long hours, every new hire, I'd be like, okay, and this is the closet where we cry. And then the supervisor was like, Gabby, I need you to cry less.
Then I need you to make work conditions better.
Oh, it was like
and then we made a cry enclosure where we stacked up boxes around ourselves and crawled through a little tiny space and laid down in this wall of boxes. And that has been moved too, which that wasn't the best cry spot because you would unintentionally eavesdrop because people would go in that back room to gossip. And I felt super sneaky on accident, but you can't just crawl out of this tiny little hole you've made of boxes and be like, hey guys, excuse me, my face is red because I've been hysterically crying, but let me just get out of your way so you all can continue to talk shit about one another. It doesn't work. So I went to my car to have a minty bee and hysterically cried to my mother. Luckily, I had therapy like 2 hours later. It's fine. All is well. Back to the episode at hand. Researching this episode filled my little heart with joy, which was a good switch up because recent episodes have been filled with a lot of doom and gloom, while this one is full of magic and mystery, with of course some science in between. Maybe. How much science can you have with folklore? You can have a little. I'll do my best for you guys. So to start us out on our bog folklore journey, we're going to begin with a few creatures who are found in bogs historically, mythically, whichever works. First off, the Will-O-Wisp. The good old Will-O-Wisp. I think I'm saying that right. I don't really know. This Will-O-Wisp?
Will-O-Wisp.
Will-O-Wisp. It's fun to say, but it's hard to say. It's also known as Ignis Fatuus, which is Latin for giddy flame. See, I am learning Latin.
Look at you.
Patreon.
Once you learn
I will remember your name.
Jay.
CJ, I am learning Latin.
Once you learn Roman numerals, it is over.
It is for
academics.
For all you bitches.
And Julius Caesar, but I think it's already
Julius
over
Caesar
for him.
who? Never heard of him. I'm just kidding. I'm not learning Latin yet. Always put a yet at the end of your sentences. Leave them guessing, you know. The name Ignis Fatuus is composed of ignis, meaning fire, and fatus, an adjective meaning foolish, silly, or simple. The name Will-O-Wisp comes from wisp, a bundle of sticks or paper, sometimes used as a torch, and the name Will, thus meaning will of the torch. It's described as an atmospheric ghost light seen by travelers at night, especially over bogs, swamps, or marshes. Some describe it as an evil or malevolent spirit. This phenomenon of seeing floating light orbs in the night is known in English folk belief, English folklore, and much of European folklore by a variety of names, including jack-o'-lantern, friar's lantern, hinky-punk, and it is said to mislead travelers by resembling a flickering lamp or lantern. And side note, I really like the name Hinky Punk, like in Harry Potter. Gabby, don't come for me. Red caps and Hinky Punks, you all know. Gabby don't know.
No, I do not know.
Anyways, in literature, Will-O-Wisp metaphorically refers to a hope or goal that leads one on, but is impossible to reach, or something one finds strange or sinister. In urban legends, Will-O-Wisps are typically attributed to ghosts, fairies, or elemental spirits. In 1936, there was a publication in the UK called The Scout's Book of Gadgets and Dodges by Sam F. Brahman, and he said, quote, "This is an uncertain light which may sometimes be seen dancing over churchyards and marshy places. No one really knows how it is produced, and chemists are continually experimenting to discover its nature. It is thought that it is formed by the mixing of marsh gas, which is giving off decaying vegetable matter, with phosphorated hydrogen, a gas which ignites instantly. But this theory has not been defiantly proved."
Definitely proved?
Definitely.
Defiantly. I will defiantly prove that this theory is correct.
It could be both.
True.
It could be interchangeable. It ain't been proved defiantly, basically, is what he's saying. And then I attached a little picture.
Oh, there's a snake. I hate you.
Gabby, I swear I did not realize there was a fake.
Fine.
A fake snake.
Fine.
If you cover your finger of the snake and you look at the top little
No,
Will-O-Wisp.
I will not be looking at the picture, but I it's not because I don't love you. It's because I hate snakes.
I will crop the bottom out just so you can look at the top, okay?
No, I don't want to because now I know there's a snake there and my finger touched it. So now I'm like, snake
Yeah,
finger.
I am a terrible friend.
No, you're
I'm
fine.
a terrible stunt man.
Back in the day, this photo would have been across the room and I would have been in tears. But now I'm so mature.
I
Look
am
at
a
me.
piece of shit.
No, you're fine.
I'm so sorry. But now that I've learned your weakness, I'm just kidding. I
sound like
already
Joya.
knew that about her.
You sound like Joya. If Joya knows that I'm afraid of snakes, that girl will not let me live it down. Okay, side note. Sorry, guys. This is my tangent. Okay, so we were in Florida and we went to a thrift store. And out of every single thing she could have bought in this thrift store as a toy,
No.
she chose 2 snakes that were battery
No, she
operated
didn't.
that you charge and then you put them on the floor and they just slither everywhere. And she was like, "It's a good thing nobody's afraid of snakes, right, mommy?" I'm like, "Yeah,
girl
Joya,
knows.
I love snakes." I've been lying to her. They say don't lie to your kids, but you know what? I lie to her face because if she knows I'm
Gabby,
afraid
the
of snakes,
girl knows.
if she knows I'm afraid of snakes, she's gonna be like, "You know what? I need a pet snake," and then that pet snake is gonna be in my bed every day.
To get her pet snake fixed, just have Steve drop her off at my house and she can hold Claudette. But the
She would
girl,
love
I'm sorry,
that.
but the girl knows your secret.
Oh, she 100% knows I'm afraid of snakes because I scream and then I'm like, "Oh, I just screamed in joy."
I didn't even realize I don't pay a bit of attention. I didn't even see it was there. Damn. It'd be your own best friends.
Right?
Oh, but back to the man, Sam. Back to Sam's quote. So, he talked about, decaying vegetable matter with phosphorated hydrogen, a gas which ignites instantly. Theory has not been defiantly proved. So on that note, what does science have to say about it? Well, the light aspect of the Will-O-Wisp can be described as natural phenomena such as bioluminescence or chemiluminescence. What is bioluminescence, you might ask? Well, let's start there. So bioluminescence is the production and emission of light by living organisms. And it is a form of the next thing I mentioned, chemiluminescence. And I think I'm saying that right, because chemistry, chemiluminescence.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Because a part of me really wants to call it chimmy. No, it's not. I know it's not, but a part of me wants to be like chemiluminescence. Anyways, chemiluminescence is the emission of light that results from a chemical reaction. So essentially, a flash of light caused by the chemical reaction. When I think of chemiluminescence, it makes me think of the luminol test. We've all seen it. If you're obsessed with true crime like I am, or if you've got yourself into a bit of a bind before and they had to come do the tests on your car. I'm just kidding.
What?
I'm just kidding. That's a joke. It's an indicator test for blood.
You scare me so much.
I'm lacking sleep.
Knowing that you have like the little blood vials, I'm like, oh yeah, she did it.
You didn't have to tell people that. I probably already told
them
y'all.
already.
I can't remember shit I tell you all, and that is so bad. I do have vials only of my own blood at home. I hate that I've mentioned that to you all before.
Yeah, it happens. But you know, it's all blood.
Sometimes it comes out of my mouth, not blood. But it's the truth.
3 hours of sleep really hits.
Sometimes the truth just comes out of my mouth. Oh, shit. Where even was that? Oh,
Luminol.
Luminol. It's an indicator test for blood for those of you that don't know.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
So this is History Uncovered, and I'm Kalina.
And I'm Austin. We are the co-hosts of the show.
History Uncovered is a podcast presented by All That's Interesting, where we both are writers. We cover all sorts of topics: true crime, unsolved mysteries, history, folklore, the paranormal, you name it.
We've been doing this now for more than 100 episodes, covering a wide range of topics, and probably something that's bound to be interesting for everyone out there.
Absolutely. And in addition to our normal episodes, we also do a history happy hour about the recent news in the world of history and archaeology, which we cover daily on the site, as well as important historical anniversaries.
We also have done some special series. We've done one on the Titanic, doing one on Jack the Ripper, done one about some famous UFO sightings. So if all of that sounds like something that might be interesting to you, and you like having a good time, learning new things, and maybe laughing or just groaning at some bad puns, check out History Uncovered everywhere you get your podcasts.
You know blood is present by the luminescence upon contact with iron and hemoglobin. Oh. But back to the regularly scheduled programming. So bioluminescence we see with living organisms. We mainly see bioluminescence in marine vertebrates and invertebrates, along with some species of fungi. It can also be seen in some microorganisms that include bioluminescent bacteria. And we can't forget fireflies, or as us normal folks call them, lightning bugs. Gabby, what do you call them?
Lightning bugs.
Okay, cool beans. There's firefly, lightning bugs, and there's one other one that I can't remember.
I know what your candleflies.
Candleflies.
Actually,
yeah.
I call them candleflies because that's what we call them back home. But now I call them lightning bugs.
Yeah, I feel like candleflies. Anyways, bioluminescence in animals can be seen in two forms. In some animals, the light is bacteriogenic, being produced by symbiotic bacteria, while in others it is autogenic, produced by the animal themselves. There are theories that the light, often mistaken for the will-o'-the-wisp, is caused by the oxidation of phosphine, diphosphane, and methane produced by organic decay. So that guy was right in the past, for the most part. These compounds can cause photon emissions. Phosphine and diphosphane, when mixed together, can spontaneously ignite when they come in contact with oxygen in the air, and only a small quantity would be necessary to ignite methane in the air, creating ephemeral fires. So, why don't we really see will-o'-the-wisps anymore today as often as they were seen in the past? Gabby, your thoughts? Don't read ahead.
Why? Because
why don't we see them as much?
we don't have the conditions present for that exact chemical reaction to occur.
Boom. Gabby's
And
right.
The thing is, and unfortunately, I did take a wetlands class last semester, which everybody's heard about my wetlands class. But one of my questions was literally, why do swamps smell bad? And then you had to describe all of the chemical processes happening in the swamps on my exam.
So Gabby should have chimed in and wrote that part for me. Okay, guys. So yes, that explanation works. A decline in a lot of our swamplands. We don't have that much swamplands anymore. Let's face it. They've been drained, reclaimed, turned into farmlands.
People thought that wetlands weren't productive, they weren't essential, and then
that is
by
so
the time
far from the truth.
they realized they had already destroyed so much of it, and they were basically swamps and marshes, all of this stuff. It was just seen as a waste of space. Like, have you ever noticed in all of the old writings, they would just talk about it as like the worst thing possible?
And that's so sad because there's so much life and activity in swamps.
Well, they didn't realize until, and here's the real catch. So when they started actually monitoring wetlands, they only started doing it because they wanted to look at waterfowl, because they realized, all these birds that we love to hunt, they need
like
the
it here.
wetlands. And so then they started inventorying, and then they actually started looking into it, and then they realized. But we had to do like the whole entire history of like all of the legislation and the constant fights and just like the history of wetlands and wetland delineation.
Yeah.
Because, people were like, it's a waste of space and they should be destroyed.
And they're so wrong. And just those conditions are hard for us to get back. Like,
Yeah,
once
that's the
you've
thing.
done it, you can't just easily undo it. You fucked up.
Because even if you restore a wetland, it's probably not going to function the way it previously did. Because yes, we could put back the same trees. We could try to put back the hydrogeomorphology.
But there's so much more shit going on that we don't see
Exactly.
under
Because
the surface.
the impact on all of the water systems that would flow through. So the hydrology, that is so hard to restore. And then on top of that, if you change the geography of the water system, like if you change the geography of the river or the riverbank, how are we going to exactly recreate that to original conditions?
And then all the little species living together and coexisting.
And then when you put roads through them, it interrupts the flow of water. It's messy, you guys.
It's a whole big thing.
There's so much.
Humans just fuck up everything. Let's be honest. We do. Did you know, is Gab might know, is it the box turtle that, is it the box turtle? I think it is. There's a species of turtle that if you remove it from its home, that it will spend the rest of its life trying to get back to that location. So it will die in the process. Like if you think, I'm just going to relocate this turtle to blah, 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 blah. Like they only travel a mile their entire lives and they stay in that same area. And if you remove them from the area, you've fucked them up permanently.
I did not know that. That's so sad. But it makes sense because, don't sea turtles, they literally travel back every year to lay eggs in the same spot that, they've done
and
previously.
Frogs, too. That's why you'll see a lot of frogs in places that frogs just don't belong. Like, if the pond that they were born in was in this certain location, and then you get rid of that pond and you put a hotel there or something, they will come back to that spot every single year to breed there, and the spot no longer exists.
That's sad.
Humans are pieces of shit. Anyways, that's all about the Will-O-Wisp. Moving on to the next one. And I don't know if I'm saying this right, and I didn't Google it beforehand. Bunyip?
Bunyip.
The Bunyip. I want to say Bunny-Ip. I know that ain't it.
Bunyip.
Bunny-Yip? Bunyip. All the people from Australia right now are like, you fucking sack of shit. And you're not wrong, because how long does it take me to Google a name? 2 seconds, and I have failed you. And for that, I'm sorry.
Just do your English accent that always morphs into the Australian accent, and you'll nail it.
Bunyip. No.
Yeah, you're saying it right. That's the American pronunciation.
Bunyip. What's the Australian pronunciation?
It doesn't say. It just says American and British, the two languages.
Damn. They did y'all dirty. Like, this is your mythical creature, and they ain't even gonna say how you pronounce it. What the fuck? Damn. Anyways, the Bunyip is a creature from Aboriginal mythology that lurks in swamps. Billabongs.
I love Billabong.
You can't say it and not chuckle. Billabongs. Oh, shit. Creeks, riversides, and water holes. The physical descriptions of the bunyip differ quite a bit. It is said to have been an amphibious animal, described as having a round head and a long neck, with a body resembling that of an ox, hippopotamus, or manatee. Some accounts gave it a human figure. Weird, but all right. The origin of the word bunyip can be traced to the Wemba Wemba, also known as the Wargaya language of Aboriginal people of Victoria in southeastern region of Australia. Aboriginal Australians today translate the word to mean devil or evil spirit. The bunyip purportedly, I don't like that word. It doesn't sound like it should be a word. The bunyip purportedly made booming or roaring noises and was given to devouring human prey, especially women and children. Don't like that. Don't like that at all. Apparently, it's known for its advanced lung capacity, which is cool. But whenever I think of like mythical creatures, I don't think like into details as far as like, damn, that thing's lung capacity, like it's got it going on.
Did they hear it singing? They were like, oh, lungs of a singer.
Lungs of fucking steel. No, they heard it gnarling in the distance, devouring women and children, and they're like, the lungs on that bad boy? The lungs on that bunyip? So, because their lungs are so big, it allows them to use oxygen more efficiently than other creatures, perhaps why it is so stellar in the water. It also has enhanced speed and can exert large amounts of physical strength from their muscles. I put a picture.
Wow, that is the most beautiful thing I have ever seen.
What the fuck even is it?
It looks like an alien. It looks like something you'd find you like in you know in your textbook where they're like talking about the deep ocean, and then they show like these blobs.
It looks like it's got like some kind of musical instrument as a mouth,
like I think
like an anteater trumpet.
the bunyip is just like a deep sea creature that somehow figured like it evolved to be able to be on land, and then it was like, huh, I'm outie.
I don't like it.
Because it doesn't look right. The legs aren't, they look like little snaky
It looks like it has a
tentacles.
goldfish, which we're going to post this picture probably if we can. Surely.
And then like the single eye on top of the head, which doesn't
it
seem like you
almost
see a
looks
lot.
robotic.
It just looks like somebody was having a nightmare, and we're like, what is the most
Someone
terrifying
with really
thing?
good artistic ability drew their nightmare.
Yeah, and it's something. Is it furry? Are those
It almost
feathers?
looks like, I can't tell if that's supposed to be feathers or gills.
Because it is a cross between.
It's amphibious. It
Yeah,
said
it's.
it's something.
When you guys see this picture, comment what you think it is, because it is disturbing.
It said the body resembles an ox, hippopotamus, or manatee, and I'm not getting those vibes.
It's giving.
It's
dog,
giving lies.
goldfish, bird, snake.
It looks like that goldfish. It kind of, I don't know why, it's kind of giving me the vibes of the goldfish off the Cat in the Hat, the live action movie with Mike Myers.
Yeah, I can see that. Also, it seems to be floating because like the appendages that are holding it
They
up.
don't look like
They don't look like they
they're
can support it.
positioned to support it. No, not at all. And those back leg gill
Also,
fins,
it has a bump, like a little bunion on its back.
like a camel. I guess that's where the ox comes in.
And then like the tongue, is that a tongue?
I hope
The
not.
tongue looks exactly like the feet.
It looks
the
like
front
it's the head
feet.
of a vacuum.
So do with that information what you will. Guys, I'm glad we could paint such a beautiful picture for you.
You're just gonna have to go to our Instagram whenever it gets posted
so
because it's
sorry.
bad. Oh yeah, the bunyip. Moving on. I did find the first written use of the word bunyip, and it was in 1845. The Geelong Advertiser announced there had been a fossil discovered in July 1845 using the headline, "Wonderful discovery of a new animal." And I'm going to read some what were direct quotes from the article, but I'm going to have to tweak them for you all because this is 1845. The Geelong Advertiser was a little racist, as was much of the world in 1845. So I'm going to tweak their quotes a little bit to make them a little bit more modern.
And if she fails at tweaking, don't cancel her. She's
Don't
trying.
cancel me.
She tried. She was like,
I'm
Gabby, can I
trying.
say this? And I was like, I don't think you should.
She's like, Brenna, don't. Because I like to use direct quotes because I have to. I don't want to say because I have to think less because that makes me sound bad. But in this instance, I will use a direct quote and I will change it. So if you hear me pause and think for a second, it's because I'm thinking, how can I say this in a way that is not inappropriate? Okay, so we're going to start.
Hello everyone, Stakuyi here,
And I'm Gabby.
and we are the hosts of History of Everything, a podcast which you can probably guess by the name is, well, it's about everything. Do you want to know why people thought potatoes were evil and would give you syphilis? Are you curious about all the stories of the terrible and stupid ways that people have kicked the bucket over the years? Do you want to hear tales about all of the different badasses of history and the lives that they had brought to life? Well, if so, then look no further. History of Everything is just the right podcast for you. It's available on Spotify, Pandora, and anywhere else that you get your podcast from. Join us for some fun and just see how weird and wacky history can be.
In our last number, we gave an account of the finding of a fragment of the knee joint of some gigantic animal, which, from there being no such animal known to exist in Australia, we supposed to be the fossil remains of some early period. Subsequent information, however, coupled with the fact that the bone was in good preparation and had altogether a recent appearance, has induced us to alter our opinion. On the bone being shown to a man, he at once recognized it as belonging to the Bunyip, which he declared he had seen. On being requested to make a drawing of it, he did so without hesitation. The bone and the picture were then shown separately to different men who had...
She's changing the word they use to men.
Leave me alone. To different men who had no opportunity of communicating with each other. And they one and all recognized the bone and picture as belonging to the Bunyip, repeating the name without variation. One declared he knew where the whole of the bones of one animal were to be found, and another stated his mother was killed by one of them at the Barwon Lakes within a few miles of Geelong, and that another woman was killed on the very spot where the Punt crosses the Barwon at South Geelong. The most direct evidence of all was that of Mumboren, who showed several deep wounds on his breast made by the claws of the animal. Another statement was made that a mare, property of Mr. Furlong, was about 6 years ago seized by one of these animals on the bank of the little river and only escaped with a broken leg. They say that the reason why no other man has seen it yet.
Guys, can I tell them what it is? I'm allowed to say it. I'm black. Okay.
She's allowed to say it.
When she says man, she means they use the word black. Okay. And then when they say other man, they use the word white.
But they don't just say black or white.
Yeah. They're like intelligent black. So she's like, I can't say that.
Yeah, they're belittling black people, and yeah.
But I just thought I should let you know because I'm so
Because it sounds
sorry,
funny
Brenna.
when I'm just being like, and a different man.
I just thought I should clarify because, it was the time.
It was the 1845s. Anyways, oh yeah, they say that the reason why no other man has ever yet seen it is because it is amphibious and does not come on land except on extremely hot days when it basks on the bank. But on the slightest noise or whisper, they roll gently over into the water, scarcely creating a ripple. We have adduced these authorities before giving a description of the animal, lest from its strange, grotesque, and nondescript character, the reader should have at once set the whole down as fiction. The Bunyip, then, is represented as uniting the characteristics of a bird and of an alligator. It has a head resembling an emu with a long bill, at the extremity of which is a transverse projection on each side, with serrated edges like the bone of a stingray. Its body and legs partake of the nature of the alligator. Its hind legs are remarkably thick and strong, and the forelegs are much longer, but still of great strength. The extremities are furnished with long claws, but the men say its usual method of killing its prey is by hugging it to death. When in the water, it swims like a frog, and when on shore it walks on its hind legs with its head erect, in which position it measures 12 or 13 feet in height. Its breast is said to be covered with a different colored feathers, but the probability is that the men have not had a sufficiently near view to ascertain whether its appearance might not arise from hair or scales. They describe it as laying eggs of double the size of the emu's eggs, of pale blue color. These eggs they frequently meet with, but as they are no good for eating, the boys set them up for a mark and throw stones at them. All right, that is the article. It goes into great detail about the bunyip, about how it has been seen, about how it has killed people, fucked people up, stole a horse, broke its leg. And they describe it looking completely different than previous descriptions.
I think that it was a person who just wanted to wreak a little bit of havoc. Probably a psychopath.
Just starting a little shit.
And they dressed up in a costume. They had to have done it.
And they killed someone's mom?
I mean, a few people, but I think they just... Here's the thing, though. It could have been a psychopath. They just didn't want to get caught. Also, unrelated, but I have to say it. This article came out today that was like, more women are psychopaths than originally thought. And I was like, the comment above it was like, I love seeing women enter male-dominated fields. And I haven't been able to get over it because I'm like, damn.
We're even in the playing fields every day.
But I think it was somebody in a little outfit, and they switched it up sometimes just to fuck with them. That's my theory.
So you think they were just fucking with people?
I mean, what else would do it? I mean, what else would do? You saw that picture.
No, the picture is ridiculous.
And the descriptions. I'm like, listen.
But they found bone. It talks, the bone could be, it's 1845. The bone could be anything.
They literally found dinosaur bones and didn't know they were dinosaurs, Brenna. They could have found a dinosaur bone. I'm like, Bunyip. That's
fucking
what it
idiots.
is.
I'm just kidding.
Like, I'm not even joking. They didn't know dinosaur bones were dinosaur bones, and they had them.
What did I think it was?
Do you remember the Neanderthal episode? They had all of these bones. They didn't know what those were.
But I mean, honestly, like, what did they think it was?
A bunyip.
You got me there. Yep. Obviously, has to be a fucking bunyip.
I mean, what is your what is your theory? I'm literally thinking it was somebody.
I literally wrote my theories for what the bunyip is. I have none. I have none. And I normally have a good theory.
I've never heard of it, but I think this was fun.
No, I mean, it was interesting to say the least, but I got nothing. If you're from Australia, please enlighten me.
I think this should be a main episode because this is funny. I think the people will appreciate
Patreon
it.
guys, we might have to toss this guy in there. But then maybe part 2 will just be a Patreon exclusive.
No, because they'll have a riot. That'd be so mean. Okay, so
this
next
one is
up,
a fun one. This one is a fun one. We're moving right along. Next up, the Grootslang. I don't know. And
it's like Baby Groot.
I don't know where I even found these. It's in my sources somewhere. I found these a long time ago, guys. And then I was like, this will be fun to write about. So I picked up where I had left off.
But you
started
do
researching.
A really good job of where the book that I sent you. You should write one on that book from last year.
Gab got me a book.
It is story, a folklore, like legend that no one has heard of, except for the person who wrote that book. Man, I love a good
folklore. I have all kinds of books on folklore. We were originally going to be a folklore-ish podcast.
We need to do more folklore.
It's fun, but it doesn't have that much science into it. But, I mean, it does have science. Like we talked about Will-O-Wisp and bioluminescence that very well could explain Will-O-Wisp. Except for like luring people into their death. Maybe you just followed something and ended up in a swamp or some shit. I don't know.
See, the cool thing about naming the podcast ending of everything is...
It's because we get to pick everything.
Everything.
It's very open-ended and I'm here for it. So you can't come for me. You know who you are. But you can't come for me.
You gotta explain the Grootslang because now I'm just like waiting.
Okay, the Grootslang, and I think I'm saying that right. What the fuck is a Grootslang? Well, I'm going to tell you. It is a huge elephant-like creature. Oh, Gabby. With a serpent's tail.
Did you put a picture in here?
Yeah, but the picture doesn't look...
Oh, yeah, it doesn't have one.
That picture does not look like serpent to me, period.
It looks... Actually, I'm into it.
It looks like a World of the Warcraft character, literally.
It's a mammoth without the wool.
Why did I just say it like that? World of Warcraft, not World of the Warcraft. Will-O-Wisp, World of the Warcraft.
It does look like a video game. It looks Monster Hunter World. It looks like a monster from Monster Hunter World.
It looks cool, but I don't see serpent's tail. Anyways, it says that it's a huge elephant-like creature with a serpent's tail. According to legend, it lives in caves, swamps, and fresh water in South Africa. So apparently, the Grootslang was a creature that was created by the gods accidentally during the dawn of time. Word on the street is that the gods were being careless and decided to combine the features of a giant serpent and an elephant, and now they've created this insanely powerful beast of a creature, the Grootslang. It is a smart creature and cunning, to the point where you never want to cross its path, which if you're looking at this picture, I probably wouldn't want to cross its path either, but I would want to ride it into battle. Just saying. Like,
do it.
Once you all see this, if you were like, choose your rider, not fighter, choose your something. I'm saying it, trying
Choose
to
your
say
mount.
Mount, choose your mount. But I was trying to say it in the tone of choose your fighter. What's that game? Modern Warfare. Finish him.
What?
Mortal Kombat. Sorry, guys. Where am I even at? Oh, yeah. So the gods accidentally made this beast of a creature, and it's super smart, very cunning. You don't want to cross its path. Something I find super interesting about the Grootslang is it's associated with the protection of precious gems, almost like dragons are.
Oh, I love that.
So, you heard that right. It hides treasure in its lair. So, legend says that the Grootslang hides deep within a cave system in the Richtersveld Mountains in South Africa. I posted a picture below for Gab. I'm going to put it on the gram for you all. But as for living in a cave, it doesn't exactly look like it could shimmy into small cave crevices or caverns to me. Maybe a large cave opening like Mammoth Cave.
Also,
perhaps.
if you guys don't know what Mammoth Cave is, I think it's like the largest, what is it, underground cave system in the world or something.
And it's close to us.
It's like right here in Kentucky.
Beautiful.
Come visit it.
Come for real though. Do come
We're not
visit
sponsored by Kentucky, but I wish we were.
Don't listen to the terrifying cave disasters episode if you're gonna go. No, I'm just kidding. This
cave is massive.
It is massive. Now it does have areas in it like Fat Man's Misery and shit, which are like they sound.
Has that been named?
It's called Fat Man's Misery. Have you never been through those little crevices on
I
it?
go to the really big part where all the
Only the big
tourists
part.
go, and it's like a big church. If you like close your eyes and talk,
It's
you
nice.
can hear a choir. You know.
Yeah, it is nice. I'm sure we've talked about it. Yeah, we've talked about it before because we've talked about like the tuberculosis huts and stuff like that. And
Yep.
it is a very interesting cave system. Some parts of it are narrow, but yeah, if this creature lived in a cave, it would have to be a cave like the entrance to Mammoth Cave because it's not fitting into tiny cracks and crevices. But yeah. Regardless, the creature gets its bad rep because it's known to try to lure humans into its cave by offering to give them some of its treasure. Of course, this creature is as greedy as they come, so you will never actually obtain the treasure you seek. Instead, you're going to die. Duh. Some variations of the legend say that perhaps you could outsmart the Grootslang or maybe appease it in some way, but only if you were smart enough.
Here's my thing. You see that this thing trying to lure you into who is being lured by this thing? Like you see that you're following it into a cave. That's the last place I'd follow it.
Maybe it's smart enough. It puts some like jewels on a string and then
just like a trail,
like some fishing line, and
a little trail of gems to the cave entrance.
A little trail of gems, and you're like, ooh, pick them up and follow it all the way there. It does. This one reminds me a lot of dragons, though, in a sense, like dragons are serpent-like because of their tails. Wyverns, whatever they are. And dragons are known to protect treasure, and they're known to be very, very smart and cunning. So the Grootslang is giving me very much dragon vibes.
It's giving dragon. It's giving small.
It's giving dragon, but it's also giving mammoth. Yes, it's giving mammoth. And a little bit of elephant with a little bit of dinosaur. If you look at its toe, like it has toes, though.
The toes are weird.
Elephants don't have to. It's got 3-pronged toes.
It looks like a big chicken foot.
It does look like a big chicken foot. I like it. And it looks like it's got a nice armored bodice.
Everyone listening to this is like, I cannot picture what you're saying right now.
Everything we've described, we're just like, what? Yep. So that concludes part 1. I'm going to end it at the Grootslang just to leave y'all wanting more.
Brenna was like, this is going to be super short, and it's 40 minutes long.
I thought it was going to be like a 20-minute. But yeah, it's a 2-parter. And next up, we might cover the Lernaean Hydra, or the Honey Island Swamp, or the Skunk Ape, or the Lizard Man of Scape Ore Swamp, or the Prime Hook Swamp Creature. Who knows? I don't know where the wind's going to blow us for the part 2 of this, but it might be in that direction, perhaps. Thank y'all for listening to us tell some folklore tales. Subscribe to our Patreon if you want to. It's free. Or if you wanted to be super nice, you could pay $5 and then you get to hear us ad free. You get to hear episodes like this one that might be on our Patreon and it might be on our regular thing. We don't know yet. But you get to hear all the super fun stuff. Sorry, I'm sleepy. Oh yeah, follow us on Instagram at Mystery of Everything Pod. Shoot us an email at mysteryofeverythingpod@gmail.com and tell us what you want, what you really, really want.
She is really tired. So, bye, guys.
Bye.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.